So my first book, Humanity's Next Thousand Years, is already complete and is available for sale. My next book, which is forthcoming, is The Nature Ternary. And it's a nature of humans, nature of groups, and nature of reality. Now, I had actually initially planned to just write that book, The Nature Ternary, and include all the topics in this book also in that book. However, I realized that like it was just getting too much. It was getting too big. There are too many things in it. So I found a set of topics which worked well together and important topics, and I wrote this book. And a lot of the material which I was going to put like in that combined book, or the material in this book was going to be in the combined book, but this book is in itself a complete book. It doesn't need the next book which I'm going to write, which is The Nature Ternary, which is forthcoming. So Nature Ternary is a more, you can say, like this is a more practical book. Nature Ternary is more about ideas and kind of how to get them together, because there are a lot of ideas in this book also. More ideas than you'll probably find in any other book. But so this Nature Ternary book is forthcoming, and I'm just going to talk briefly about what is going to be there in that book. And if you want, you can pre-order Nature Ternary. I'm not making any promises about when it'll be available. I kind of start writing something, and I'll be, more often than not, it takes me much longer to finish it than I thought it would. Okay, so what is Nature Ternary? So Nature Ternary has 3 chapters: the nature of humans, the nature of groups, and the nature of reality. And why these topics? Well, because I believe that these are the most important issues for humans. Now, this book brings together these 3 different topics into one comprehensive whole. If you just like say nature of humans, you're not going to get very far, because humans live in groups. Humans live in groups, and if you just kind of try to say, okay, this is nature of humans, and then the final, the important question is, okay, you found like what the nature of humans is, but what's your plan? What's your plan? What plan are you giving them now that you've found their nature? And okay, you'll say that, okay, I have this plan, but you can't give a plan for the best possible life till you have also understood the environment in which humans live. So just like think of a nature of humans as partial equilibrium. It's a partial analysis, and that's ineffective. What about nature of reality? You also need to kind of understand what morality people will choose for themselves, and how the other things which are part of nature of reality, how it affects their lives. So this Nature Ternary book brings all these together and links how they interact with each other, and gives a comprehensive analysis of these important issues for humans. So the nature of humans, which is one topic or one chapter of it, is that it gives you a rational understanding of the human brain, and that the there's a model, a rational model for the human brain, and then you say, okay, uh, you, I build a model by evolution and observations. Evolution provides the skeleton, and observations add the flesh to it. So once I have this model for human brain, I describe what is needed to be given to humans to give them the for mental health and the best possible life. Now, of course, it is also very clear that environment is providing the conducive environment is essential for the best possible life. So this chapter will also say, yes, this is the plan you have, and this is the sort of environment that you would want to be in. And also kind of I analyze how the changes in our physical, technological, social environment, we are like keeping on advancing, and like technology has a tremendous impact on us. One thing which is very clear is that our lives have become much more vicarious. Before, we used to have relationships with real humans. Now we have a lot of people make a lot of investment in the so-called celebrities who they'll never know in their lives, and so all those changes which are happening in our environment, what is the impact of it? And then it'll say, like, what is our optimal response to those changes? And also how we can, in this new world, and what we must do to have successful relationships, because you cannot overemphasize the importance of successful human relationships for having the best possible life. You just cannot. It is so important. It is probably the most important thing to you after having enough food to eat. Okay. And also, like, how parents can bring up mentally healthy and successful children. Now, the nature of groups notes that groups are important because they provide the environment in which we live in. Now, groups malfunction. They usually malfunction. We have to live in groups, but these, as like, Nietzsche said, in individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule. So I analyze why this happens and what can be done to prevent it from happening. Now, then, like, you can think of groups that we live in and which impact us, of being like the nation that we live in, then the communities that we are part of, if we are part of a community, and then the firms which employ us, which is also a group of people working together. Now, I analyze the different aspects of these groups and explain what is needed for their optimal functioning. I also, when they're talking about groups, then in the groups, people work together, they have a joint production, and then you do a distribution of the joint production. And I describe what a desirable economic system should look like to provide them the opportunity of the best possible life. Now, of course, the most persistent insanity of groups is wars. Okay, I analyze the causes of wars and provide solutions for ending them. We have to end wars. I mean, this is ridiculous. Right? People causing other people suffering and pain just does not make sense. We cannot be, psychopaths. We can't continue being psychopaths. Wars are a constant in our history, and we have to end them. Okay, so the nature of reality is sort of like an overview of our human life, and it asks some very fundamental questions. Like it starts like, what is reality? What is science? How do we discover knowledge? What artificial intelligence is and is not? Does free will exist? Now, these are all related topics. Comprehensive utility as morality. And the closest thing to life, immortal. So if you pre-order this book, you'll be one of the first to get the book, but no promises when this book is going to be finished.